Hi there, and welcome to the Natanya Experience. Today, I have a very special guest. I'm talking with Gary Bierfriend, who is the founder and creator of the THC Hampton's Cannabis Expo. This year marks the 7th anniversary of this unique event. Gary has been a pioneer in bringing together people from all different kinds of backgrounds, from the investment side to the cultivation side, small business, large scale business, tech investors, curious folks, recreational and medical people in the industry, as well as partnering with native and sovereign land folks. Like this year, the event is at the Shinnecock Nation out in Long Island. So I welcome you to listen to this episode and learn a little bit about why Gary puts on this show, what kind of stigma he's trying to help eradicate, and what's in the future for this industry for all of us to learn a little bit more about the industry, the business, the regulations, and more innovative paths to healing from plant medicine. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the show. Hi there.
Hi, doctor. How are you? Great to see you
Good.
again.
Good. Welcome to the Natanya Experience. Today I'm speaking with Gary Bierfriend, and we are definitely talking about living your best life today and maybe some transformation thrown in there as well. But Gary joins us from the Hamptons in New York, where he is the famous or infamous, I guess, depending on who you ask, famous founder of the Can Expo, which has been running for over 7 years in several cities, but mostly in the Hamptons, and really a pioneer in this space and doing a really unique event that I'd love if you could just talk us through a little bit about how the original Can Expo came to be and sort of your interest and why you were doing it, how it came across, how it came to be, and then we'll focus a little bit more on the current state after that.
Yes, thank you for that. Pioneering, yeah, indeed. 7 years ago here in the Hamptons, where the community is very concerned about having a proper moral compass and about being successful in family and business and life. I figured this was a great place to break glass, being that I'm from the community. I've raised my three children in the community. They were born and raised here, and I had custody of my children since they were in diapers, and for reasons of addiction that my ex was challenged with. And I felt like I was a good spokesperson to normalize the flower and alternative ways of dealing with diseases, chronic and pain management, instead of having pills and on the recreational side instead of alcohol. I thought it was a better way to live. And when it became legal in New York 7 years ago and in the West Coast over a decade ago, there was a lot of hot money flying around the Hamptons. Everyone was anxious, waving a check saying, "Oh, I want to be the first investor of this company because this is transformational for what it's going to do for both society and for economics. This is going to be bigger than alcohol." And I was amazed at all of the excitement out here. I was dealing with many different events that I was capital fundraising for, all on the innovation side, whether it was Bitcoin or whether it was the Oculus or what Apple calls now, I forgot the name for it, but the goggles that they wear, virtual reality goggles. So there were so many things out there. And when cannabis became legal in New York, I said, wow, this is really becoming a national trend now. Not only is it Colorado and California and Washington, but now it's coming to the East Coast where we have a more discerning population, a more careful population, and conveniently, all the one percenters from New York City and around the metro area happen to be in the Hamptons in the summer. And there were many angel and investor events around here. So my first audience was 100% investors. These are people who came out in the middle of August wearing sports jackets with checkbooks bulging out of their chest pockets. And I thought this was an excellent opportunity to both capitalize on the business opportunity as well as embrace a better way of life for my grandchildren to leave this world a better footprint. Over the years, the audience has evolved as the industry has grown and matured. And now you're seeing a strong preponderance of people that are operators and owners in that industry, on the service side and on the product side, both vertically and horizontally, and that's terrific. And at this point, we're ripe to reposition the platform and the trade show to not focus predominantly on cannabis, but to push much deeper towards other plant-based medicines and other integrative medicine, which will help deal with chronic diseases. So whether that's mushrooms or ketamine or psilocybin or fill in the blank, there's a whole world out there that is a better way of life, both on a direct scientific medical side as well as a social outlet. And the time is ripe. So we have changed the content of our panels. We have changed our exhibitor showcase. We have changed our speakers to focus on this whole world together on a better way to live our lives.
Yeah, so this year's event, which is August 1st
Mhm.
in the Hamptons, and actually in a very special location, which we can talk about next as well, is a bit of a shift from the historic focus. As you said, I'm just repeating, for anyone who missed it, that we're looking at the integrative medicine space, including cannabis and psychedelics and other plant medicines like ayahuasca vine and other integrative therapies like perhaps red light therapy or other sort of
Mhm.
cranial stimulation, things that go together but not necessarily come out of a box. And looking with the leading clinicians in these spaces, researchers, as well as, of course, the investors who have the finger on the pulse of where things are headed, and all size companies. And then we also, of course, have other groups who may be interested in kind of hearing what's going on, hearing what the developments, the legislation changes, because we have, of course, a lot of regulatory. So a lot of lawyers, accounting firms, those kinds of things to understand the scaffolding of the business as it shifts, as we have some new, regulations and legislature that's come about on the cannabis side. And unfortunately, right now, we don't have big news on in the psychedelic side with the FDA from last week's ruling, but there are more things going in front of the committees every few months, and it looks like we're headed towards a shift in the scheduling. Maybe not tomorrow, but we're on the way. So it's really exciting that you're sort of pivoting here to include these other things, and maybe on the forefront of what's about to shift in the marketplace. Can you talk a little bit about the location this year as well? Because I think that's a pretty unusual, special thing as well to highlight.
Yeah, I moved to a new location in Southampton this year, and it's on the Shinnecock Nation territory. So it's in Southampton. It's just west of Southampton Village, and it's a beautiful, beautiful space. We will be doing it at Little Beach Harvest Dispensary, which is right at 56 Montauk Highway, past Stony Brook University on the main road. And we will have parking for 600 cars um, on site this year. So that's last year. That was a little bit of a problem we had. We had too many attendees, and parking around the venue was very challenging. So we're excited to be on the land of the Shinnecock Nation. It's sovereign land. Consumption is allowed of anything. The rules that work in the United States don't cover the nation. They have their own separate rules, and they're very supportive, obviously, of plant-based and alternative integrative medicines and that whole world, that whole basket. It's part of their culture.
And who would you say would be an ideal, let's say, first maybe attendee and then speaker and then sponsor? Can you break that down?
Well, these are people that are, I think it's all kind of one bucket. It's based on where they're maturing. Many of the audience members are interested in the industry. They want to meet other people to collaborate with them, learn more about it, or they're actual users. But for the most part, it's a combination. People who generally want to commercialize in this space generally have already experimented and became true believers of the medicinal values of all these different areas. So they generally go hand in hand. The exhibitors are people who are already operating in a business. They could be a lab, they could be an insurance company, they could be practitioners. It depends on who's out there and looking to network and market and promote themselves so they have visibility not only on the trade show floor, which is an outdoor event, but also in our program guide and in our social media and within our network to help connect the dots. The tagline for the show has always been connecting people and opportunity from day one. And that changes over time, kind of like a fortune cookie as things evolve right now. So, how we're connecting people and opportunity in today's world is very different than it was 7 years ago, and it's going to be different next year. So, we're always taking the platform and we're evolving as the industry matures.
Amazing. And we also, I understand, I don't know if it's final confirmed, but that you're going to have some government representation as well, which is really interesting, again, at a time when a lot of these things are under formal review for approval.
Yes, returning as a keynote speaker again this year is the chairwoman of the Office of Cannabis Management for New York State, the OCM. Her name is Tremaine Wright, and Tremaine will be there from opening until closing for the entire day of the event, um, speaking with people, meeting them, hearing their stories, make sure she understands all the business challenges, and just be enjoying the day. And as I briefly mentioned, the event, as I've always done it, has been outdoors as well as indoors for convenience. So this doesn't have to feel like you're stifled inside some sort of convention center with artificial air and light. It's a beautiful out here in the Hamptons in the summer. We want people to feel like they're more at a garden party or a golf outing, for example, and not necessarily working. We try to make work peaceful and easy and pleasurable, especially when you're in the Hamptons in the summer. And the other thing we love about producing the show in this destination is you get many C-level executives from the public companies and major companies that otherwise wouldn't be attending a type of event like this. So I curate the show accordingly to bring like-minded, serious-minded professionals in the industry. This is not a per se recreational enthusiast event. It's an event for the movers and shakers of industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I thank you so much for your time, Gary. This is very exciting. I know I'm personally excited because I will also be speaking at this event
Yes.
about chronic disease and alternative clinical trials and studies that are going on around the world to look at management, as you said, for pain, but of course also we have mental health issues in anxiety, depression, PTSD, you name it, oncology. And we're looking to have confirmation soon for some other really world-renowned speakers, and so we encourage you to check it out. Do you want to share the website real quick?
Yep, it's canxpo.com. canxpo.com, canexpo.com. There is no E in that, just 6 digits.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Gary, and we'll be seeing you soon. At the Natanya Experience, we believe we can all rise above challenges, heal, and shine together. And so we give big thanks to our amazing partners who share our vision of universal health and happiness.